I mean, literally, don't hit your head, guys. You know, giving a whole new meaning. I don't know if I ever put a disc closer to a basket than this. It's touching, I guess it's not quite touching any metal, but it is a centimeter from the lock and the pole. Oh. Is that a bird? And one, come on, man. What's up, you guys? We are back in Brooksville, Florida for the Q Series finale. This is where we started the season at chess.com at the Olympus Disc Golf Course, courtesy of Paul Macbeth and Dylan Cease. Yeah, really fun playing out here, but you know, we're not back in the food vlogs, but I am going to talk to you guys about Aviation Coffee right down here in Brooksville, about 25 minutes from the course. You're going to want to stop there before you go play Olympus, get you fueled up for a fun day, full day out at Olympus. And the owners here at Aviation, Chris and Travis, they also play disc golf, so I just hooked them up with a couple discs. Hopefully they get to get out to Olympus themselves sometime soon and check it out. They haven't played it, they said, since the new redesign. But yeah, let's get over to Olympus. Let's check it out. But first, let's taste the coffee. We got the breve, we got the maple syrup and the coconut. You know, it might not quite be a salty wave, but add a little sea salt to it, and we're dueling there. You know, it's a close battle. I'm gonna go strong, like 8.1 here. Aviation Coffee before you go play Olympus. You're welcome. That's right, you guys. We are back at one of my favorite courses I've ever played, Olympus Disc Golf Course in Brooksville, Florida, for the Q Series finale. We're going to be playing an FPO layout for the most part, just to make it a little simpler, I guess, and quicker with playing here in the winter. I definitely would have loved to see a mix of holes and play some of those MPO holes because they're so good and challenging. But the FPO layout is a lot of fun, a lot of scoring opportunities, and a lot of aceable par 3s. So let's see what we got in store. Starting off on hole 1, we got a par 3. Playing at that red pin straight ahead, a little over 300 feet. Plays decently uphill with that low ceiling, so some players like the forehand here. A lot of players are going to choose that backhand. I'm going backhand with that Gold X Explorer. Play this one with a touch of hyzer. Try to get a straight skip. A little wide there. Edge of circle look. I'm going to go one more off the top here. Maybe play a little more stable disc and go with the Wrangler here. Maybe I'll get a little more skip back left. Yeah, I think the slightly faster speed of the Wrangler allows me a flatter release. It's going to give me a little bit more ground play when I do hit that ground inevitably because of the low ceiling. And I think that's what I'm going with here on hole 1. If I miss long, pat on the back. Even the Explorer found its way. Nice pace inside the circle. First putt of the day, danger long. Except for danger don't exist when all you see is success. Definitely think I'm gonna go with that Wrangler though, because like I said, a few more angles I can successfully beat that ceiling with and not push it too straight. Give myself that little fade back, because honestly, even if I'm slightly left right here, even a bit down the hill, it's a bit safer of a putt angle, and yeah, liking that 9-speed release here. Either way, we got the bird on one. Let's go. I mean, would you believe me if I said it's not even noon in late November and I'm sweating like this? That's right, I'm in Florida. But you gotta make sure to stay hydrated, my friends. Little prediction for how I think you're gonna have to score to win this event. With this layout being, I feel like you're gonna honestly need to shoot somewhere in that range of like 32 to maybe 36 down to win this event. But I guess we'll go ahead and find out and see. Hole 2, put it out straight. Really, you can throw a mid-range fairway or distance driver off the tee here based on how long you want to be into the green. I like fairway driver here. I can get quite a bit of distance while maintaining that straight line. Touch of headwind here. Keep that in mind. A little bit of hyzer flip on this Opto Explorer. A little bit of hyzer, flip to straight. Pretty conservative, smooth drive there, but very much so in the birdie range. Probably gonna have 300 feet into the green or so. You can see the right edge of the basket peeking out from the sawgrass there, and that's the main notable thing about this approach, is to miss on the right side if anything, because you only have about 20 feet to work with, long, left, and short. Otherwise, you're getting sliced up. I'm gonna go savior into the green. A little bit on the safe side. Hopefully it's not too long. Yeah, that's a putt up at it, and that's how you throw it when you've played 2 rounds out here and already have about 450 cuts on your legs. Because I thought I was a little bit further away here. This turned out to be a pretty good approach. This rise just short of the green, I guess, kind of creates a pocket where you can't really see where the disc is landing. Makes you feel further away than you actually are. Slip that one in the left side. First uphill putt of the day. Gotta make that adjustment. A little bit different timing with the legs, I feel like, in the arm when you're putting uphill. Birdie birdie start. That's how we like to be out here at Olympus Reds. Hole 3 is a short but specific par 4, a pretty unique one. You play a shot down off this cliff edge here, about 120 feet ahead of you. You're gonna play to a surface that's probably 60 feet below where you're teeing from. Whether you choose to play a soft shot, land it straight ahead, or to play maybe that 9-speed over stable shot, try to beat that one pine branch you can see out there in the distance with the lime green color. Try to fade just below that, get maybe halfway up the short service road hill that then flattens out again to the approach area to the green. Whether you play for the bottom of the hill or midway up the hill on this one, your second shot is likely to be a slightly awkward one, and it's going to require accuracy for shots 1 and 2 to score here. I'm going to play this Pioneer, go for that medium height shot, try to beat that pine branch, maybe get halfway up the hill. I prefer that play here. It's a little wide. I'm going to need to get fortunate through those back wall of trees. Not quite. Caught one of those last trunks before you get to the clearing midway up that little hike up the hill. Gonna be a scramble from there. Birdie's still on the table though. If you miss your fairway on some of these holes, there are some treacherous little slopes where you better bring your climbing gear, because they are slightly dangerous. But yeah, my issue off the tee there was I aimed at the back wall of trees and I found them. I need to aim at that branch I'm trying to beat. Hopefully filter through it. Finish a little bit left of this, obviously. From here, I'm gonna throw a forehand roller. See what we can manufacture. If I can get up to the top of the hill, I'll be pretty happy. This ground play might get killed though once it hits. Oh, okay, sat right there towards the top, hugging the left side. We're gonna have a chance to throw in for 3 here. Can we chip it in to keep the birdie streak alive? Sake bomb slammer. Do it for Rick? Nope. But that exactly right there showcases why I think this pin position, although it might only be about 20 feet from the other pole, is a vastly easier pin to approach, because now, whereas to the long pin that we'll see up here perched on the hill just long and right, you have to come in with some speed control, some angle control, because it is on a slight mound and you don't want to have to be putting on a slight mound from too far away. This one has the bowl behind it, the trees behind it. You really get to run at this one super aggressive, try to make it, and you almost can't miss too long if you come in with some decent height, because this backstop's going to catch you. So while it might feel like just a subtle change, I think it makes a big difference in the scoring separation and the amount of birdies you'll see, because players, like I said, can play way more aggressive into this approach versus trying to put it up close on this perched green. And there's our first par of the round. Boo-hoo. But I threw it where I wanted to off the tee, and that was my mistake. Changed my aim point. You know, it's really good to know that if I ever move to Florida, I'll never have to build a sauna, because every single day you're living in one, and yeah, hard to believe it's late November and I've already lost 2 pounds in 3 holes. We're on the tee of 4. To the MPO position, this one played incredibly hard as a par 4. I think it averaged more than a full stroke over par. To the FPO pin up on the left though, it's going to be another hole that we're going to see high birdie percentage. If you hit this initial gap, you're really going to have a pretty simple approach, though there is a late gap to hit near the green as well. I'm going buzz off the tee here. I think this one's, I don't know, titanium plastic, right? Y'all tell me. Finally, I threw this shot with some intention. Been playing it soft the last couple days. That should be ideal spot. Putter approach, most likely. As you can see, we have a relatively short approach here, maybe somewhere in the range of 175 feet. Slightly uphill. Kind of a dual gap, but this inside left gap is definitely the one to take from here. That right gap, there's not enough ceiling to really swing it back in time before you risk going down the right side of that slope. If you remember the MPO pin, we play over this slope, along the road, past the trees to grandmother's house up the hill, and it's a tough one, but see if we can dunk this one in with my Tour Series faith. Maybe get that birdie back from the last hole that we missed. While I didn't make it, it was online, and I can be happy with that. We got another birdie look. Just outside the eye of the bull here. 3 down through 4. Let's go. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me well. They're doing some course work with the mowers down on the adjacent hole, so I hope the audio comes through cleanly. As we step up to the tee of hole 5 though, beautiful par 3 across the canyon, up on the other side of the cliff there. I gotta remember about yesterday's round where I threw this DGA D-line steady and hit off the band here. Following up with the next hole, had about 300 feet into the green for birdie on a par 4, and I was about this far from hitting the cage, so back-to-back shots, I almost drew metal from about 300 feet with the steady, quickly becoming one of my new favorite throwing putters. This one's right around 300 feet, like I said. Just don't be short. That's the only key here, and maybe put it in the basket. Steady, here we come. Smooth and steady. Smooth and steady off the tree branch with all the love in the... Oh, no. All right. I gotta go to the dreaded drop zone down there. Not with a stroke penalty, but just with a mandatory. You can't play on that slope. It's too steep. Shout out to Jake Mon, hooked me up with this DGA sonar to try out. So I'm gonna try this one out here. First throw with it. Let's see how it flies. It was gonna be so perfect, but I keep throwing them right. Okay. Maybe it's a savior all along. Maybe it's a savior, guys. I can just release it flatter. I don't have to play with any ceiling. Pump it with a savior. Make it simple. Like I said, anywhere marked in orange on this course is going to be mandatory relief because there are some unsafe slopes, like I mentioned earlier, and better safe than sorry when it comes to people's lives. We are just playing a game as much as we love it. See if we can get it there. Beat up Gauntlet. Hey! Not as far as I can jump, but y'all. Maybe it'll be a little faith chip in, but really it's not going to be anything because I'm going to be acing this hole every round. You make me a believer, believer. Hole 6, sub 700 foot par 4. Either play pretty drastic hyzer angle off the tee here, maybe with a 9-speed or a driver, try to get way left, or like I prefer, play more of a flat release with a really overstable mid-range, like a Lucid X Justice. Let it fade out. Usually they end up in a similar spot, so I don't think there's too much advantage to trying to go driver and bite off a lot off the tee here. You really just don't want to be in the sawgrass long or on the corner short. Nice and flat. I got some speed on that one. That should be pretty center cut. If anything, maybe slightly left, but I think I like it. Like I said, probably looking at about 300 feet in, maybe a little less here. I'm gonna go back to that Savior. Play a medium, touch a hyzer out of the hand. Sawgrass surrounds the green, as is common on a lot of these par 4s out here. Little flatter than I intended, but honestly, I knew what to do. My body corrected because it knows the course. This is my home course, Olympus. I am the Olympian. Let's go. I mean, literally, don't hit your head, guys. You know, giving a whole new meaning. I don't know if I ever put a disc closer to a basket than this. It's touching, I guess it's not quite touching any metal, but it is a centimeter from the lock and the pole. Oh. Is that a birdie? L1, come on, man. Easy birdie. That was crazy. You ever seen a disc that close to the pole? Let me know in the comments. You ever been closer than that? We have a 330 foot par 3 here in the 7th. You can see that big oak tree trunk on the right side. You're going to want to play maybe a baby hyzer shot with a mid-range towards that tree. Have it fade in front. Pretty nice little back slope on the left here, so you want to just make sure to give this one a chance. Don't saw it off inside. You'd rather be too flat than too inside here as a righty. I'm going with that Big Money Skins buzz again. Make sure to commit to that hyzer, nice and firm. A little bit of hyzer, popped up the flat, slid on up. Gravity kind of pushed it outside to the edge of C1. Otherwise, it might have been pretty close. Pretty close. Either way, we got a great look. A little more well into the circle than I assumed. Looks like someone kind of tripped up on this circle 1 marker, and so it got knocked off out of place. I can see the rest of them. So it either goes here or somewhere in here. All right, the only way to do it is to walk it off. I'm gonna walk off in this one, then we're gonna make us and see how far this one is. I'm gonna go one more. I'm just gonna lay it down, honestly. Right there. Okay. Done being a Samaritan. Time to step up and birdie. Be a Samaritan for my own scorecard. Yeah, nice clean release. Right into the center there. Another birdie on the scorecard. What's that have us at? Is that 5 down? Here's 7? Wait. Let's see, we got hole 1. We got hole 2. We missed hole 3. We got 4. We missed 5. We got 6 and 7. So, yeah, if you do the math. Oh, thank goodness. They came up here and mowed this area. There was some grass kind of hanging out in my low on this one, making me think about taking the backhand, but now, absolutely pumping forehand. Opto stiletto on this 450 foot par 3. A little bit downhill though. Really make sure to key in on getting this thing driven flat and pretty low. It was flat, not quite wide enough, but I think I might have an open putt. As long as I'm not in the bushes, I'm happy here. I'm gonna try one more with a Rive, just because I feel like maybe that slightly straighter disc will help me out here. A little lower with the Rive there. Oh my God, that's a beauty. Parked. Okay. It's gonna be hard for me not to choose that. Okay, the Snorlax correction was great, but the first one is honestly really solid. Got here, and if there is any wind, the stiletto will handle it a little bit better than that line. So I think no wind, I'll go Snorlax. Any bit of wind, I'll bump up to that stiletto just for the peace of mind. And there's another birdie. Let's go. 6 through 8. Honestly, kind of the pace you're going to need to be on to be pushing for that lead after round 1. Especially if the wind's down like it is today. The infamous hole 9 Olympus. Many have dubbed as the hardest par 3 to birdie on earth. To the MPO pin. To the FPO though, it's super fun. Playing to the bottom of the cliff edge there. You can see the rocks kind of leading you to the basket with that nice alignment, giving you those visuals. 4 pine trees lined up in the center of the gap here to make you pick a side, left or right. Most players, as a right-hand player, are going to be trying to squeeze to the right side of them and sneak back to the left at the end, maybe for a legendary, epic Mount Olympus ace. I'm going to go Gold Explorer just because I know I can throw this regardless of the different wind conditions we might see here. Tiny bit of flex, nice and flat. It's a little low, but it's going to come back hopefully. Oh, caught that little rock wall. Probably scuffed my disc up, but 18, 20 footer. We'll take that for birdie all day. I'm going to try my Opto Explorer. Uh-oh, rain's coming. If that drifts right of the pines and drops somehow, not going to drop. Oh, I hit the last one. Uh-oh. The rain's coming. I threw it under these trees so I could putt this one out and then go hide under a tent till this rain goes away. Here we go, 7 down through 9. Not a shabby start. Thanks you guys for joining for the front 9. That's gonna be it out here at Olympus. We're gonna get right to that back 9 here soon. Plenty of birdies to come. A lot of fun holes left, so don't forget to check it out. Thanks for joining. Hey, drop that like and subscribe, yo. Well, I figured might as well edit the front 9 while I sit here in the rain waiting for it to go away. And now we'll get to test the tee pads in the rain after the rain stops for the back 9. So honestly, perfect little rain delay. Shout out Mother Nature. She knows what's good.